It's too damn early for this shit. Leave me alone.
How do you dress like this? What are you a prostitute? I'm curious.
Sir, please leave.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me
All
alone.
you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll leave you alone.
Oh my God. It's too damn early for this shit. Leave me alone.
How do you dress like this? What are you a prostitute? I'm curious.
Sir, please leave.
She has to repeat herself, and he's still not getting it. Instead, he starts commenting on her clothes. Nobody asked you about her clothes. Nobody asked you what you think. I get up this morning, and the first thing, Mr. Perry, I'm fine. You know what? I don't give a fuck. I said don't contact me. I said leave me alone. I've said it for 13 years. I said no. No means no. Look at this, dumbass.
Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me...
You know how many people say that about me? I'm glad you're okay. Do you know how many people's hearts were broken at the way you had people treat me at my apartment, at my hotel, at my work? And so we get people talking when you're mean to me, and we find out what you're trying to do before. Pull her over, take her car away, We sold her. We need our money. God damn it, we need our money. And you get caught before you do it when you do it to me, dumbass. What is wrong with you, Mr. Perry? This is the Charles Perry Stalker Podcast. This is Cynthia Ortiz. It is April 11, 2023. Everybody's very angry at you and very sick and tired of you, and nobody cares what you think. You are not asked. You too, Tulsa police. What is the deal with pulling me over? You get some kind of sick thrill acting like an ass like that? We get it before you do it, sir, not after. I can't do that by myself. People are sick of your crime. Why can't you get that? Stupid.
Break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
Yeah, Mr. Perry wants to talk. You don't even make sense, you fucktard. I don't give a shit about your little feelings. No one cares about your feelings because you don't care about ours. How do I feel? People care about how I feel that you're breaking the law, watching me in the privacy of my home. Trying to take my car, obliterating my life, asking my family to try to talk me into being trafficked so you can get your money. So no, we're not going to talk. I'm talking to you now. And I said no. You're going to starve me into a lie. You're going to starve me and make me say things I don't want to say and do things I do not want to do. Fuck you. It's different when you do it to me, you stupid little piece of shit. It's different. Why can't you get that? We know before. I've not been trafficked yet. You can't make Papa John's on me. I got your code words. Papa John's is what sex traffickers use to describe delivery of a human a person they sold. It's illegal to do that. People are sick at their stomachs that you've done that to me. You don't matter. I do. We get it before you do it, not after. Not very many people, or victims for sure, have your code words like Papa John's. We can't make Papa John's on this one. No, you can't. You stupid piece of trash. You are a rapist. You're a killer. You're a cop killer. Allegedly. And fuck you. Fuck you. Your own people. When Charles pesters her and takes her money, things do not go well for us. We're seeing things happen we've not seen before. We do not know who it is doing this. We don't have any idea. 6 years in a strip club and they couldn't get her to slip up even one time. Then she goes back and it's 6 weeks in a strip club and they still can't get her to slip up. Instead, they bullied her and bullied her and bullied her and bullied her and ran her customers off, and now she left. They can't get her back. So again, we've lost an opportunity to find out who it is helping her. So she's quoting us. How the hell does she do that? And Perry's got his feelings hurt. I can't get what I want. I can't commit my crime and get away with it this time. Oh, where's my mommy and my blanket and my Patsy and my doll? Feel sorry for me, everybody. Who's telling on me? Who's telling on me? Oh my God, wow. Who the fuck acts like that? You should be about to die of embarrassment, and you're not. You're not. You don't even know you should be embarrassed, do you? I'm asking our shrink. I'm so embarrassed by the weirdo shit he does all day, every day. Weirdo shit. It doesn't get any weirder. Your mind cannot even imagine. If I sat down and told people every weirdo, fucked up, bizarro thing Mr. Perry does all day with his time, you'd be like, I can't even imagine. I can't even fucking imagine being that weird. And guess what? He's not one bit embarrassed. Bye, guys. There's 40 cops after you, dumbass. I can't do this by myself. I can't quote you. By the way, I have to say this, believe it or not, because we've got such a dumb fuck. He can't you actually have to say it. When I speak in the third person, I'm quoting somebody else. I actually had to say that. Why did she talk in the third person sometimes? Because I'm quoting another person, doofus. How embarrassing. You're this stupid. I would die. What's it like to be the stupid one in a world where everybody else is smart? You can't even keep up with normal. You can't function normally. You can't do it. Huntington's disease. I'm telling our shrink, why isn't he embarrassed? She said, I'm telling you, he will not pass cognitive reasoning test I give my first grade patients. I've read his emails, all of them. He responds with a couple of sentences, 3 to 5 words. We've not done that since first grade. It's clear. You know, she goes, when I respond in an email, when you respond in an email to something somebody says to you, it's like a paragraph, a very well thought out adult sentences. This guy responds like a first grader. He's got else, and you have to repeat yourself over and over and over, and he's still not getting it. It's frustrating to deal with somebody stupid like that. I can't handle it. I can't deal with it. I'm not trained for that, and I don't care. I don't care. No one cares, Mr. Perry. You're a monster. You've ruined lives, and that's what people care about, not you. You need to traffic me. You sold me and you took half up front. You need to deliver so you can get the other half, and nobody gives a fuck. I know before, not after. What does that even mean? You don't know what it means, do you? When I say that, I might as well say it to a wall, because you're that stupid. You're that fucktard. How pathetic. So I'm telling her, why isn't he embarrassed? He embarrasses the fuck out of me. He's a weirdo. He's repulsive. He's disgusting. He's disturbing. He's depraved. And I would die if that was me. I can imagine. And she said he doesn't know he should be. He doesn't know. He's got Alzheimer's or senile dementia or something. In fact, most of the time, he doesn't even know what you're saying. In these emails, it's clear he has no idea what's being said to him, and he's just responding in the best way that he can. Literally like a first grader. Literally like a 6-year-old. That's as far as he can think. He cannot think past that. He can't do it. Later we find out you have Huntington's disease that causes paranoia, hallucinations, delusional. You're delusional. You live in pretend land. Nothing about it is real. How embarrassing. Psychosis, mental illness, mental retardation, impaired cognitive reasoning. You can't think past a first grader. You can't do it. You don't have any power. You're just pathetic. You're just pathetic and diagnosed stupid. No one cares what you think. Do not force yourself on me again. Do not do it. Pull her over, take her car away. I'm gonna make her destitute and deprive her of food and shelter and interfere with commerce and contracts and coerce and push and pressure and coerce. And I need a lie. And you talk to me and I need a lie. Please talk to me. Fuck you. I said no. No means no. Can't you understand the word no? Are you that? That's 3-year-old, sir. You're going to be a dignitary. Well then act like you have power. Go work. Get off your fat, lazy, perverted ass and go work. And leave me the fuck alone. And act like you understand what people say. You can't do it. You don't have power. You can't even think past tying your shoe. You want to run for governor? You can't run down the street without help. You'll fall all over yourself. What does it mean that we have the information before? How do I know I've been trafficked? Do other victims know? They don't. I do. Stupid. What does that mean? Fucktard. What does that mean? Where's your power now? That you can't even tell what it means that I have it before, not after. I matter. You don't. I can get information. You can't. You can't name even one of my guys. I've named a bunch of yours. I'm going to do it again. Calvin, who's bald and fat. Lucius, Geppetto, your witch. Sanjay, your hacker. Blankenship, Desiree, Richard, Dickie, Lawrence, Jeremy, Brian. Right? James, Ruben, Beverly, Kate, Andrew. Name one of my guys. What does it mean, you dumb fuck, that I can get those kind of names and you can't? What is Judy Parker's role in this, Mr. Perry? There's a judge signing off on investigatory orders that is appalled at her. My willingness to be factually accurate led to the discovery of her factual ignorance. How embarrassing. Here's the thing. My name is on everything I sign. My reputation is on everything I sign. I will not allow myself to be embarrassed because I was stupid and didn't get all the facts. When you bother me, you get caught. You invade my privacy, he said in March 2020, and he said it again in July 2022. You do not invade her privacy. You do not contact her again. She's not to be broke anymore. You're to respect the law and her, the law. The law. You're raping me. You don't get to do that and get away with it. Not this time. The law. You don't get to do that, sir, and get away with it. Not this time. You're not. When we quote you and when we find out before, not after, what is it you fucking think you're getting away with? Stupid. I have help. I can't get that shit by myself. I can't do it. The people helping me, that's who you need to worry about. That's the one that said, you do not invade her privacy again. You do not contact her or her family in any way, shape, or form. Do not do it. And she's not to be broke anymore. Get your hands out of her wallet. Because you need to respect the law and a woman. You don't pick on women. Because you're not tough guy. You're pathetic. You lose. You don't get a date. You don't get information. You don't get your cover up. You don't get shit. You get told on and told on and caught and told on and caught. And that's all you've gotten for 13 years. It's not a day. It's not a week. It's not a month. It's not a year. It's 13 years. It's a decade. It's every day, all day. We've got more on you than we know what to do with. When they get enough on everybody, they'll arrest everybody. Nobody gets a deal. See you at trial. And you got to pay your attorney. Every time you contact me, we get more. Every day I'm broke, we get more. Every day Mike's in jail, we get more. Every day you invade my privacy, we get more. And the more we get, the easier it will be to get convictions and a whole lot of restitution for all your victims. You sick son of a bitch. He's all typing in my phone. You're violating my civil rights. Typing that in the phone that I have the legal right to privacy. And he's cloned it. That's a felony. All day yesterday. I'm going to have you pulled over again. I'm going to have you pulled over again. I'm going to have you arrested. I'm going to have you pulled over again. I'm going to have you arrested. Oh my God. Wow. Threaten, harass, threaten. You're violating my civil rights. Who's telling on me? Look what I can do and get away with. Who's Monique? Who's Mary Beth? Huh? What is it you think you're getting away with when we get it before? Sometimes our guys get it, but a lot of times Mr. Perry just fucking tells on himself. We got your mitochondrial DNA. Oh my God. What do you need that for? We got a search warrant. What do you need that for? Oh, I'm just like, oh my God, this guy is whacked. There's nothing hot or sexy about a little peeping Tom pathetic like you. You repulse. You disgust. You disturb. You're depraved, and so we can get information and you can't. Nobody will talk to you. Nobody will talk to you, and nobody cares if you're fine. Stupid. Nobody asked you. You're just like this bitch.
Leave me alone! Please!
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
I don't... This make you feel? You're filming my father and my fucking sister. How does this make you
Is that
feel?
the one that put all those scratches on your arm? You want to see the
Scratches? I got scratches.
I can show you the pictures right now.
No, I want you to leave my family fucking alone.
Keep hanging outside of there.
Monkey, hit the road. Dude, I promise you, you're gonna get yours and you're
I
gonna
don't
get
give a
it
fuck.
good.
You can.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna get... When we quote you, I took. Right? She's trying to explain to him, it's not cool, you're taking pictures of me. Do you like a camera in your face? How does this make you feel? She says, trying to reason with him. What's he say? I got pictures of you. I'm a stalker. I got pictures of... I'm gonna get you. Doesn't even make sense. Mr. Perry's exactly the same way. Exactly the same fucking way. So fucking embarrassing. You can't reason with crazy people. You can't do it. And you can't fake stupid. They're living, breathing proof of that. Now, what David's problem is, I don't know. I didn't know he had Huntington's disease or some such. Why do we have to repeat ourselves constantly? You're already caught on the trafficking. You're already caught on the pullovers. We have a whole album on pull her over. First of all, you have to know when I leave my home, which only a voyeur would know. Then you have to GPS my phone and know where I am to have a cop sitting there waiting for me. You use DoorDash to get me to a certain location where you got a cop ready to pull me over, and we know that, and we've said it. Already, you're caught over and over and over. Two and three and four of them said no. One of them said, this is that chick that lost her butt trying to help a cop, Mike Neely. Yeah. Yep. When she blows by here, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm not gonna be the one to do that to her. I'm not doing that to her. And he wouldn't pull me over. He's not going to be your bitch. You know, is that the best you can do in your career, law enforcement, is be the bitch of a sex weirdo? I mean, either you can do better or you can't. That's your choice. You live with it. You're grown people. You live with your choices like everybody else. You're supposed to be held to a higher standard. You're law enforcement. God help you. People do not like your corruption. They do not like crime. That's why we quote you sometimes, too. And another one said, he was told Mr. Perry wants her to sign an affidavit and a letter of an apology he wrote. Those are his words, not hers. He's going to try to force her to. Coercion, intimidation. Use the taxpayer resources in Oklahoma for the commission of my crime. Talk about purposeful availment, Mr. Perry. You already did it once. There's another court, surely you know that by now. I mean, surely even you know that by now. Even stupid fucktard you. You get all mad when I call you a fucktard. Show me different. You want to act like a fucktard? Don't complain when you get called fucktard. You don't have any power. You're weak and you're impotent and you're stupid and you're embarrassing to me. Embarrass the fuck out of me. You're weirdo. Doesn't get any more weirdo than you. does not get... How do you humiliate your family with your weirdo problem? You can't control it. We control the flow of information. You cannot even control you. When your conduct is illegal, that means it's offensive. It's deviant. It's outside social norms. In this country, we said we will not tolerate that in a civilized society. You do it, you go to jail. I don't care who you think you are. Write a letter to my guys and tell them who you think you are. And watch them laugh at you. Watch them laugh at you. Because they don't give a fuck, nor do I. Tell everybody how you think you're important. You think you have power. You sit on your ass all day and watch other people have a life. Because you don't have one. So when you do something illegal, that means people aren't going to like that. Crime came up second on the polling at midterm elections. We don't want that in our society. Get the fuck rid of it. Second, so we can get information and you cannot. And you fucking act like you have no idea what it means that we can get information and you can't. I know I was trafficked before you did it. We got 1,000 emails about you having me pulled over before you had me pulled over. I'm going to pull you over. I'm going to take your car. I'm going to make you starve until you lie. Okay. Duly noted. For the record, you just threatened me again. All day yesterday, he was going to have me pulled over. I'm going to have you pulled over. I'm going to have you pulled over. I'm going to have you pulled over. We got to get her broke and now door dashing her out at that club so we can, get her pulled over and take her car. Yeehaw, where he'll be the Hicks. Even though she already knows about it, we're going to do it anyway. Everybody knows about it. But we're that stupid. We think nobody else expects the thing. Well, they do. And they're not happy about it. Okay, so the other guy said she already knows about this affidavit and this apology, and she said she's not going to do it. Right. Yeah, well, I'm not pulling her over. He said, you may not have a choice. And he goes, I always have a choice. I'm a cop. I'm a police officer. I do have a choice. I'm not putting my reputation on a bad decision of a mentally ill man. I'm not doing it. Find somebody else. So you want me pulled over. You want to traffic me. You've got half the money. You and David are so desperate and so pathetic to make delivery so you can get your money. You lied to my family. You're trying to use here's the thing with my granddaughter. This is unbelievable. This is how low these people will stoop to get their money and sell people. Life sentence you're going to do. Per count, David. I'm not shitting you. I am not shitting you. Charles has a mental illness, David. What's your excuse? What is your excuse? Write a letter to my guys and tell them how important you think you are. But then watch them laugh at you. You too, Calvin. Bald, fat Calvin. They got that information. Your name's Lucius Calvin Geppetto. You're witch. Voodoo guy. Does she have sage? But I can't get through. She got too many angels around her. What's the deal with you? The way you guys talk? I can't even... Who talks like that? Fucking hillbilly hick stupids. Okay, so... shit, now I've lost my train of thought. Hang on a second. The deal with my granddaughter. Okay, I have a son that when he was 14 started getting into trouble. This kid is a genius. He was in gifted classes all his life. He had grandparents who were hyper control freaks and did not help in our lives, did not be supportive and loving and kind like normal people do. They wanted to take over. They wanted to control everything. My mother did weird shit. One day, comes to visit me. I walk into my house, my home, where I have a husband and 2 children. And she is making a list in her daytimer of every book that I had on my shelf. And I looked at her and I go, the hell are you doing? What in the hell are you doing? Oh, I just want to see what you're reading. Yeah, I don't think you do. I think you're up to something. What the hell are you doing? She stumbled and fumbled, and I just looked at her and I go, don't fucking do that. And I walked off. How do you even, who the hell does that? Who the hell does that? I'm making a list of books you have. So I've gone to her house and she's got a lot of books. Never made a list. Odd as that might sound, of the books she has on her shelf. If there was one book that I found interesting that I personally wanted to buy too, first I'll say, can I borrow the book? And if she would say no, then okay, what's the name of it? I'm gonna go buy the book. And then I'd go buy the book. I sure as shit don't make a list of books she has on her shelf. I don't care. I really don't. I have better things to think about. Much better things to think about. So there's things like that. They would buy Tristan very nice things, and they wouldn't buy Dennis shit. They treated Dennis like crap. When I'm growing up, my grandmother told me, your parents treated you like crap. And I go, I know. When I was 10, I went looking through their drawers. One day they were gone, or they were outside or something. I can't even remember what it was, but I'm like 10 years old. Nobody was in the house. I go through their drawers looking for my birth certificate. I didn't believe I was their kid. My sister could do no wrong, and I could do nothing right. And they did the same thing to Dennis. I remember it was different at my grandparents' home, Chief Hall. I was at Chief Hall's house, my granddad, and we were playing, my sister and I were playing, and they were highly irritated at the way my parents treated me. Highly irritated. They would my granny said, we sat them down over and over. Why the hell are you doing this to her? Quit doing it. Quit fucking doing it. Just treat her normal. Just be normal. And my granddad, I can't remember what happened, but my sister and I were arguing, and I was probably, 10, and she's probably about 8. And my sister runs over to him and tells him what she did, and my granddad looked at her and he goes, tattletale, hanging on a bull's tail. Get the hell out of here. And I was like, oh, finally somebody's defending me. Go sit down there and play. I couldn't believe it. But it was finally, oh my gosh, finally. Thank God, finally, somebody. So, he just wasn't putting up with it. He was standing there watching us play. He was standing there watching and saw the whole thing, whatever happened. I don't even remember now what it was. But he's standing there watching the whole thing happen. And my sister jumps up and runs to him and starts tattling. He wasn't putting up with it. Tattletale, hanging on the bulls. Get out of here. Get the hell out of here. Go sit down and play. So, he wasn't putting up with it. So when my kid, Tristan, is 14, he starts getting in trouble. Well, my parents run a teen challenge. That's what they do. They help teenagers who are in trouble, who can't behave right. Tristan really had no excuse. He really didn't. So I take him to Teen Challenge, and he starts getting better, and about the time it's time for him to come home, maybe a month or two before it's time for him to come home. You get your act together. We needed to remove him from the situation where he's around kids he could not say no to. All of a sudden, his grades dropped. He went from being a straight A student to barely passing. He was in football. The football coach was getting pissed off at him because he was barely passing. And my son would tell me he would have practice. I got practice today. There was no practice. There was a lot of practice, and I would go to his coach, and I'm telling his coach, I go, you guys got a lot of practices, and I can't, this is kind of excessive, don't you think? He's getting behind on his homework. The guy says, he says, this is when we have practice. We didn't have practice that day. Would you like me to take your son and walk him to the car at the end of school every day when there's practice or not? Oh my gosh, this is a kid who's a freshman in high school, and he's got the coach telling him, I'm going to walk you to your damn car so you don't lie to your mother. What's he doing during these 2 and 3 hours where he's telling me there's football practice and there's not? I'm looking at his Facebook. There's a girl Facebook messaging him, let's have sex today after your practice. He's at football practice. Let's have sex today. Just walk to my house. It's a block from the school. Here's the address. Oh my God. I read it while he was at football practice. I jump in my car. I couldn't, I was about to blow a gasket. 14-year-old little kids having this kind of conversation. I jump in my car. I drive over to her house. I bang on the door. And she answers the door, and I get your mother on the phone right now. I'm Tristan's mom. Oh, she turned white. She goes, oh, fuck. I go, yeah, get your mother on the phone right this minute. She does. She gets her mother on the phone. I chewed that woman out. What in the hell are you letting your daughter do? What in the fuck? Do you not check her Facebook? Do you not pay attention to her? I mean, I just ripped her. And she was like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. I work. And I'm trying to, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And the little girl says, Mom, Tristan said no. He's not going to come anyway. And I was like, yeah, well, whether he said no or yes is not relevant. You guys are, I mean, don't fucking do that again. Don't fucking do that again. And I tell the lady on the phone, her mother, you keep your kid away from my kid. And she was like, okay, I'm so sorry. And I jump in my car and I go to the school. Now it's about time for practice to be over. My son is sitting on the curb. He gets in the car and I'm like, the fuck? Guess where I just was? Where? At this chick's house. He goes, oh shit. I go, yeah. What in the hell's wrong with you? You know better than that. He just got real quiet. He goes, I said no. I go, what are you doing? Your grades are falling. You're lying to me about where you're at. You're talking to girls about having sex. You're 14, Tristan. You know better than this. So I'm worried about him. Wouldn't you be if you're a parent? You try to do the right thing for your kids. So what do? You trust your parents, who for a living help kids who are doing this kind of shit, so they don't end up in jail. I send my son to Teen Challenge a few months before he's supposed to come home. I start getting a lot of questions about my child support. How much money are you getting in child support? Whoa, that's none of your business. Well, we think that you should have more. Really? Why do you think that? It's none of your business. Well, there's an article about Brandon has a lot of money. Tristan gets on the phone. Mom, my dad's rich. He's got millions of dollars. There's an article on the internet about it. You need to take him back to court and get more money. I go, Tristan, your dad and I are good. And he's not worth millions. And it's none of your business. What the hell are you doing? What they wanted me to do, they saw an article called Seamless, and it was talking about the nightclubs in Vegas. There was one called Seamless that Brandon Tristan Rogue, Tristan's dad, thought of at about 2 o'clock in the morning, take all the chairs off the floor and turn it into a rave. It's a brilliant idea. Brilliant idea. A lot of clubs started doing that. And the club he was working at, Seamless, was worth millions. It said nothing about his money. They misread it. I emailed my mom. I still have that email. You misread the fucking article. And mind your own business. What they were doing is they're already planning to take custody of my child to get his child support money. They didn't give a fuck about Tristan. Because if you care about a kid, you want him and his family to be intact and supported and loved in a whole family unit. You don't want to rip people's hearts out. You don't want to do anything that would cause that kid to be alienated from their parents, because that causes some problems. It's not normal. So they want me to get more child support money. They want me to go through all the trouble of taking Brandon back to court, get that money increased before they go in and take custody of him. And they did, but I didn't go. I was like, mind your own business, first of all. Second of all, you misread the article. Brandon and I are good. Just stop trying to make trouble. Stop fucking trying to make trouble. So they do they had Tristan sign an affidavit saying he was scared of me, and they took custody of my child, and they immediately went after the child support. So we talked to the FBI, and the FBI said they had some paperwork that they went in and said she just dumped him off on us and abandoned him, and he's scared of her. So we go into court, Brandon and I, and I'm saying, Your Honor, here's the paperwork that says they knew he was supposed to go to Teen Challenge. I did not abandon my kid. He was supposed to come home. When it comes time for him to come home, I get a lot of questions. Here's the questions about the child support. They wanted my money. This is about getting money. Second of all, my son is playing football. He's knocking down 6 foot, 300-pound boys on the football field, knocking them flat. I'm 5'2", I weigh 115. He could put me in a coma without even trying. What in the fuck is he afraid of? I don't beat him. I don't hit him. There's none of that. So, do you think the judge then tossed the whole thing out? Nope. Drunk Deborah, who, by the way, Deborah Davis Walker, lost her place on the bench because she got arrested for drunk driving. Was she drunk when we went to court? Something wasn't right. Because she just let it go. Shit, Fox News did a news story on her for something similar. There was some kind of fraud put in front of her, and she just let it go. This is what families are ripped apart by judges like that. And oddly, we got that judge. So, I lose my son. My youngest son. I can't describe the pain a little 10-year-old went through having lost his brother and his grandparents in one second, just like that. He was 10. Dennis was 10. Ripped my family apart. My whole family, the Ram family, the one that's here, the family that's here, my mother's side of the family, the one that was there already, everybody's there. We're all going to talk Cynthia into being trafficked. Right? The other night, didn't you say every member of our family was there waiting for her, and she didn't show up? Because they were going to talk me into being trafficked. You're going to use my family for that, Mr. Perry? Will you piss the judge off? The one that does diligence and isn't going to look stupid, and in the process of that, discovered Judge Parker doesn't care about her reputation. She's factually ignorant. That gets on his nerves, by the way. People that are usually diligent, the people that are half-assed with their work, it gets on their nerves. Just so you know, Mr. Perry. So, my son and I haven't talked, needless to say. We had one conversation with the counselor, court-appointed counselor. We talk like nothing has happened. We talk like we always talked, nonstop, from start to finish. And they hang up, and the counselor gets on the phone with me, and he says, normally, in these situations, I have to stimulate conversation, because there's some hard feelings there. Your mom told us that you and Tristan hated each other. And he goes, that's not what I heard at all. I heard two people love each other very much, get along just fine. I had to make you stop talking. That's never the case in these situations. Normally I have to help people, prompt conversation. You and Tristan just talked and got along perfectly. There's not a problem here. And by the way, you're the only normal one in the bunch. And he goes, guess what else? Your mother, I had to send her downstairs to the downstairs lobby because she was standing by the door listening to everything your son would say. Oh my God. Wow. He goes, it's awful. And I said, and you can't testify to any of that in court? And he goes, I can't. It's a HIPAA violation. So he's telling me, and I'm telling you, he can tell me. It was inappropriate for her to do that. Your mother's standing by the door listening. I had to make her go to a different waiting room in another part of the building. How embarrassing. Oh, I always have to say mind your own business with these people. So, I haven't seen my child in a while. It blew the whole family up. Our Ram family used to have family get-togethers that were the most fun thing you could ever go to. Everybody loved each other. I already said we're all Germans. Nobody wins a fight in my family. Nobody. But you agree to disagree, and we got along fine. We've had our differences. I don't get along with my Aunt Kay. I don't. But I believe that well, let me put it this way. That's largely due to Kathy. I told Kathy, stop bad-mouthing me to my Aunt Kay. She said, I'm not. I went to her house and I found pages and pages and pages of emails where she did. Completely lied. Lied about everything. Now, at that point, it becomes case responsibility, again, to not be factually ignorant. And if she chooses to be factually ignorant, there's nothing I can do about it. We're Germans. Nobody wins a fight. Don't even bother. Some people, if that's how they, if that's how they view the world, what can you do? You can't do anything about that. I love my aunt. I just don't talk to her. But if I see her at a family function, I treat her like, no, go hug her and be very nice to her. I mean, that's just kind of how our family is. We still have fun despite our differences. We always had a good time. And this thing that my mother has done in helping Mr. Perry in trafficking, ripping my family up, it split our family apart. And my son also facilitated the function of ripping a family apart. Destruction. Not supporting, loving, kind, the way people are supposed to be. Everything wicked, everything destructive, everything evil, and he's a part of it. And I'm a disappointed mother. And it broke my youngest son's heart. My youngest son has never been the same. He lost. It's like a death. It's like a fucking death. And we struggled and struggled and struggled. And Mr. Perry did not have the right to put us through that. He never did. And it's not just me, though. This is what he does to all kinds of families. Lots and lots of families. And he doesn't think twice about it. He doesn't care. So when you get your little feelings hurt because I call you a fucktard because you got caught, and you act like you don't know that, no one cares. No one gives a fuck how you feel. You weren't asked, were you? Nobody asked you. My son did not tell me that his wife was pregnant. Neither of my kids told me. My kids do talk now. My youngest son has told me that he screamed at his brother. Why'd you put us through that? They've made amends. That's good. My youngest son said, I want you to apologize to Tristan. And I said, I am not going to fucking enable him. I'm not doing it. If that means we don't talk for years, we don't talk for years. I will not enable him. I was trying to help that kid not go to jail. And if he doesn't appreciate that, that's fine. I go to work with little girls who had meth heads for parents. They didn't take care of them. They didn't do anything for them. They had to drop out of high school to work to take care of their parents. I have no patience for a kid whose mother watched everything he did, took care of My son did not miss a meal. My boys wore name brand clothes all the time. We paid for them to play sports. They had tennis lessons all their lives. They had soccer. They had football, whatever they wanted to do. That cost money. I worked very hard so that they could have all that. We took care of them. I was the mom running along the sidelines with my kid when he's playing football. I didn't, I was at parent-teacher conferences. He had a problem at school. I was down there fighting for him. And he did. Sometimes that happens. You have a bad teacher. He had a bad teacher. So we had I spent 2 or 3 days fighting and fighting and fighting so he could get into a better school. Both of them had that happen, actually. We had to switch their school. So, I'm not a disengaged mother. I was very, very involved with my kids' lives. And there I'm going to work, and I'm talking to girls who raise themselves. And, mom and dad are passed out on the couch. They don't care if I go to school. They don't care what I make. They don't care if my homework's done. They don't care what I wear. They don't care if I even eat. And you have the nerve to treat me that way, and I owe you an apology? I don't think so. This is never going to happen. I'm sorry, you're stupid. You need to grow up and act like a man and take responsibility for splitting a family up, a whole family, breaking everybody's hearts. I get that you met your wife, and I'm glad God brings something good out of our bad decisions. And I think it's great that you met your wife. I do. Does it mean that you don't owe people an apology because you disobeyed your parent at age 14? You disobeyed a parent at age 14. You mistreated a mother who was trying to make sure you didn't end up in jail. You lied to me, and lied to me, and lied to me, and lied in court. Your grandparents lied about you in court, because after I said the kid could put me in a coma. What do you mean he's afraid? Then they changed it to where he's violent. It's in the depositions. It's in the order. He grabbed her by the arm and threw her on the couch. Actually, that's not what happened at all. What happened is, I'm walking through the house, and Tristan wants to talk to me. Remember, he's lied to me and lied to me and lied to me and lied to me. And I stop and I go, and he goes, Mom, I need to talk to you. And I go, okay. I'm standing up in front of him. He's sitting on the couch. At this point, he grabs my arm and pulls me to the couch. I need to talk to you. I get it. Okay. Just pulled me to the couch. There was nothing rough about it. My arm wasn't red. My arm didn't hurt. There was no bruising. It wasn't done violently at all. There was nothing violent about it. He simply reached up, grabbed me by the arm, and pulled me to the couch so he could talk to me. And they took a very innocent nothing. It was a nothing, literally, and turned it into a complete lie. How embarrassing. How pathetic. How pathetic that you would do that to a kid. In a court of law, under oath, lie about a child so you can get his child support money. I don't even have words for that. And my son went along with it. And I'm going to tell you, there is no pain on the planet than when a mother loses her child. Whether it be to death or now all of a sudden they're ripped from your life. There's no pain like that. There's a coldness that has developed in me because I'm afraid if I think about it much, you cry and you won't stop. You can't stop. So you just don't think about it and you become callous. You don't have a choice. You got to survive. You got to make it through. You got another kid to take care of, and another kid that needs your attention, and another kid that needs your productivity. So that is what Mr. Perry did, and then he now expects a lie. Now he thinks he's owed a lie. Now he thinks he's owed my cooperation with him trafficking me so he can get his money. And he's the victim. He's the victim. Because he facilitated a lot of that, and he corroborated our witness who said, as long as I've known Mr. Perry, what he does is he puts hidden cameras in women's home. He tells people he's traveling on business. He's trolling women. He's a sex weirdo. He's a sadistic piece of trash. Finally, somebody's gonna get his ass. Because I have to sleep with one eye opened after he told me this. He travels around, he puts cameras in women's homes, and he broadcasts them on the dark web and sells watch time. And he said he enjoys watching women get upset, and he'll go rub one out. He causes them to lose their job. Then he causes them to lose their home. He'll make sure they can't get another job. He'll spoof websites. So you think you're applying for a job at, say, Target, and you're not. You're filling out a form on his spoofed website. He hacks all these women. They clone their phones. They watch everything they do. And then they lose their home. Then he has the ex take the kids away. And he sells them online. He's raking it in while they starve to death. And he'll rip up their family or rip up their life. And these little kids who once had a support system and a stable life and a stable environment, all of a sudden everything's upside down. Ruins them. It is better for a man, Jesus said, who causes one of these little ones to sin or to fall or to give up on God because you've ripped up their life, to have a millstone be hung around his neck and you be thrown into the sea. It's not better for the kid, he said. It's better for you that you're dead than to cause a little kid to have lose faith in God because you ruin their life. It causes a lot of psychological damage in a child to have alienation from a parent. So I have not been told that my son has a kid coming. Then the baby's born. Little girl. Nobody tells me. When they want to traffic me, when they want my cooperation, and we got to get her back to Texas so we can do more to her. Then I'm told, you have a granddaughter. You can't see your granddaughter unless you go to Texas like we've told you to. You knew my granddaughter before I did. And my response to that was, fuck you. If I never see her, fine. What's going to happen is, she's not going to have to live with you in her life. If it kills me, and it might. And I know that. And I'm fine with it. Only thing that matters to me is that her dad gets not one more phone call. Is your dad talking to little John, and they've got somebody helping her, you know, in the entertainment industry? How does she always find out before? Are you sure your dad and her aren't talking? Pester, bother, pester, bother, bother, pester, pester, bother. And, you know, all you think about is your lie. And you don't give two fucks who you hurt or how bad you hurt them, young or old. This time, though, you got people, my people, kicking your fucking ass like never before in your fucktard, pathetic, sick, nasty, bizarre life of crime. And I want you to always remember, it's me that did that. Chief Hall's granddaughter, me, I did that. I know people. I matter, you don't. My family matters. Every one of them matters, and you don't. And you don't just do this to me, you've done it to many, many people. And you're reaping what you sow already. You invade my privacy, they invade yours. You got a police officer who's dead. You got another one in jail who didn't do. There's no way he could have done it. I don't know Mr. Neely. I don't know him. I don't fucking know the guy. I talked to him for a few minutes. 6 days later, he is almost dead and accused of murder. And I'm just looking at the facts because I'm also not stupid and I'm not factually ignorant. And my name is on my work too. So I'm looking over everything and I'm going to make sure I know my shit. So I read his entire case, every deposition, everything. Meantime, the guys are looking into it. And they tell me in January 2020, he was drugged, he didn't do it. Then they tell me again, and we're still looking into it because we're still not sure. We're still kind of getting information in a little bit. That's the way things work. You look into something, you know more and more, and pretty soon, you know, more and more information becomes available. Sometimes people are more willing to talk. A month or two after you ask them the first time, they might be a little bit reluctant. Then later on, they're a little more willing to talk because they start getting sick of this shit. So that's what happened. So they tell everybody, they start talking about Mike was drugged. He didn't do it. He's found unconscious and in respiratory distress. Not a mark on him. Not a bump on the head. Nothing. So what caused him to be unconscious and in respiratory distress? Oh, he was treated for opioid overdose. Somebody tried to drug him to death. Who did that? One lucky. If there's yelling being heard, who's yelling? Mike's sleeping. He's unconscious and about to die of drug overdose. So who's lucky yelling at himself? Who beat him up? Who the fuck beat him up? It wasn't Mike. You don't beat somebody back and forth and back and forth and back and forth so hard their head comes off their body. It was like being in a car crash while you're sleeping. And then pull both bodies up in the corner between the wall and the bed in a little confined space, like you're trying to hide them, covering their faces like you're ashamed. You don't want to see what you just did as you leave the room. Yeah. Okay, remember who caught that too. Remember who caught that too. And your concern is, I'm going to have her pulled over and take her car. So she has to lie about all that. You're gonna use my granddaughter to lure me to Texas and be sold. My granddaughter that you knew about before I did. You're not stalking. You're not hacking. You're not peeping. You're not using people in my life to coerce, right? Say that again in a court of law under oath. One more time. Say it again. Deny everything I've said. One more time, Mr. Perry. And then tell the judge how you matter and how horrible it is you get called names. That you're a victim. Do it one more time. I dare you. I dare you. We don't even know what to say. So, here's the disclaimer. The right to equal protection does not exist in the state of Oklahoma, not for women. 44% increase in domestic violence murders since 2020. No one gives a fuck about the women. And the best you can do, TPD, is be the bitch of a sex weirdo. Right, Captain Gimpy? That is your goal and your aspirations in your career in law enforcement. All I know is that I am very, very, very proud of my granddad. And my granddad went through something similar. Somebody wanted him to lie, and he wouldn't do it. And cover something up, and he wouldn't do it. He got very confrontational. And my granny's showing me all this stuff in the news. She goes, look at this. Look at all these articles just smearing him. And they formed a committee on the city council in Roswell to take over the police department and all these articles about how he was stupid and incompetent and all this stuff, and we need to take over. Also about a sex problem. Somebody couldn't handle their sex weirdo problem. They couldn't keep their pants zipped up, and he got confrontational with it because it was taking time away from police business. And they just smeared him. And but now his name is on the front door of the police station where he was the chief, and nobody remembers who that guy was. They know him. You walk in and there's a whole wall in his honor. A whole fucking wall. Because he did the right thing, and because it was the right thing to do. This is what you do. And it might be shitty for a while, but at the end of the day, it's going to come out fine. But you can't back off, and you don't need anybody's permission, and you don't need anybody's approval. You do what's right, because you're going to live with the consequences, good or bad, whatever it is. You live with it. So you don't call around and you ask for everybody's approval. That's not leading, that's following. This is what happened because my granddad did the right thing, even when it's hard. And he didn't back off. His name is on the front door of that police station where he was the chief of police. LM Hall. On the whole wall. Look at that. That other guy's name is not there. No one even remembers who the fuck he was. He does not matter. My granddad matters. And that's my family legacy. And that's the legacy I'm going to pass on to my granddaughter, even if that means I never, ever get to see her. I always send her love. I always pray God tell her in her ear that I love her. I want her to have a peaceful, happy life and not have these monsters in it. And if I never get to see her, okay, I will not apologize to my son. I don't owe him an apology. He owes me one. And I will not enable bad behavior, and I will not enable his wickedness, his awful what he put everybody through. I will not do it. I'm glad God brought something good out of that, and he got to meet his wife. She's beautiful. I know that, and his little girl's beautiful. But I've taught my children all their lives, you be a man and you take responsibility for your mistakes. And if you make one, you have the balls to say you're sorry. And you own it. And then you learn from it. And you don't beat yourself up. You let it go. But you learn from it and you own it and you apologize and you make amends. You make it right. And that's that. That's how you handle your mistakes. Always God brings something good even out of our mistakes. That's just the way God is. But God did that. You did not. So I'm glad he did what God does. And he made a good out of your bad. I'm very happy about that. Doesn't mean you don't owe your family an apology. You do. I will not enable you. I will not help you make bad decisions. It was a bad decision. You hurt more people than you can imagine, and you hurt them deep. And you don't get to do that, son. You don't get to do that. Your brother, I watched what he went through. I'm not going to get into that much because Dennis can speak for Dennis. But I can tell you what I saw was almost impossible to live with. How hurt he was. And I think that, I mean, whether you apologize or not, I forgive you. But I will not call you can't you take the high road, Mom, and just say you're sorry? For what? What am I supposed to apologize for? I don't know. I'm the parent. He's the kid. He was about to go to jail. I got him to people I should be able to trust. Your parents. If you can't trust your parents, who do you trust? And they went into court and lied. And they ripped the family up. So absolutely fucking no. I will not apologize. I will not apologize. It's called enabling, and I will not do it. My son made the mistake. My son will apologize. He's already forgiven. But he needs to own it. He owes the whole family the apology. Because it ripped the whole family up. The whole Ram family you were going to use to try to talk me into being trafficked. This is my legacy right here. It isn't for sale. It isn't for sale. So for that, I'm going to pass that to my granddaughter. And she's going to have a life without you in it. Even if it means I never get to see her or hold her or kiss her. I send her love through God. God, tell her I love her. Whisper it in her ear. All her life. Whisper your grandmother. Your grandmother had a principle that prevented her from being in your life. She loves you and she prays for you every day. And she's working very hard to make sure you have a life where you're not in danger and you're not bothered by some very wicked men who do some very wicked things. And you don't use my granddaughter as bait. She's a person, she's a child, and who the fuck do you think you are? So, I matter and you don't. And that's why we can get information before Mr. Perry, like Mike Neely, was drugged. He's a cop. He's a cop. You don't get to hurt a cop. And Tulsa police, you want to pull me over again? Okay. And then what? And then what? I mean, we've said it before, not after, that Mr. Perry's making that threat again. We have a whole album on it. They want to take my car. Where are you? Listen to me. Everybody listen to me. People aren't stupid. I know that you really wish they were. They're not. They do suspect a thing and they're sick of their stomach. We don't have problems getting information. You do. So, name one of my guys. Quote one of their meetings. My name is on this shit. So is yours. You gotta live with it. And you're grown-ass people. You can. Right? So there's that. That's all I have to say. I really don't fucking have anything else to say. When you cause me to lose money, 1 penny of my money, 1 eyelash, when you invade my privacy, you're taking something that doesn't belong to you. It is illegal to do that. When you try, you're desperate to try to deliver me so you can get your money. It's all about money. And everybody said, fuck you. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. And be embarrassed, please. Finally be fucking embarrassed, because everyone else is. Look at your results, look at ours. We can get information, you can't. When you contact me, he said, her privacy is not to be invaded anymore. You don't contact her or her family again at all. Don't contact them. Get off your ass and go work. Get busy, like everybody else. Go be with your family, like everybody else. Mind your own business. She's not to be broke anymore. And every time you ignore him, we get more. After he said that in March 2020, you guys laughed at me, you mocked me. But look what we got. Now we got Lucius's name. We got Calvin's name. We know he's bald and fat. We got your witch, Geppetto's name. We got Beverly and Kate and Monique. We got Lawrence. We got Brian. We got Jeremy. We got Andrew. All these names. Richard, Dickie. People I've never even met. So did that help you to just laugh at me like that and mock me? Now, why is it you think you matter? You actually don't. I matter. So, when you get a grip on reality, Mr. Perry, you might have somebody that gives a shit about how you feel. This is what law enforcement is to do, TPD. There's one thing required of the job of a cop: relieve suffering caused by crime. There's nothing else that matters. Nothing else is required of you at all. This is what the job is: relieve suffering. Tell people you're safe now. He's not going to hurt you anymore. Make the hurt go away. That is your job. That is what taxpayers pay you to do. And if the best you can do in your career in law enforcement is to be the bitch of a sex weirdo, I don't know what to say to you. Your kids have to live with that. What I wanted to do is make sure that my granddaughter can brag about me the way that I brag about my granddad. And there's not a bunch of, I have to explain this and apologize and make excuses for you for the rest of my life, even after you're gone. Thanks for that. But you have to do that, and I will never have to do that. Okay? My granddaughter will never have to do that. If it kills me, and it might. It might. But I can live with that. Can you? Can you live with it? We will. God isn't mocked. We reap what we sow. Our name is on what we do. That's our reputation. Your name's on that. You have to decide. Each person has to decide, what can you live with? Can you live with your kids having to, even long after you're gone? Sometimes things that have happened, how long did Jeff Epstein get away with what he did? And then all of a sudden he didn't. Got away with it until he didn't. And if he had kids, now what do they do? BTK, the same thing. 30 years he got away with killing people. And now his kids are stuck with his reputation forever. Long after he dies, they still got to live with that. So will your kids. So will my kids. Your name is on your shit. Make sure you can live with it. Because we all do and we all will. And Tulsa police, that means this too. That means this too. Right? This guy, these are all the facts on the murder of Chief Miller. After Tulsa police was decided to be the bitch of a sex weirdo. And now they don't like it that people are talking about it. Boo fucking who? Get some balls. Go call your mom. Here, we got a tissue for you. You got a dead cop. You got a cop killed. Richard, or whoever, gave my police report right to an offender, a domestic violence offender, tried to kill me. You didn't properly collect my evidence. You didn't get me in for an interview. You gave my police report to an offender who, in a week, by physical force, prevented and delayed me from getting the evidence collected. And then you didn't prosecute obstruction of justice or destruction of my evidence. And then you got a cop killed. Now, you're mad because everybody's talking about it? You want to pull me over and harass me about it? Again? Okay. You got to live with your reputation. Your work product is your reputation. Okay? You got to live with it. I'm done. I don't even care what you think. So we got all this. This is my work product. This is my reputation. And if I never see my granddaughter, she's going to be able to live her life without you in it. If it kills me, and it might. And we all know it could. You want to run me off the road. You want to have somebody hit the front end of my car and clip the front end of my car off and make me flip and who knows what. And we got that. We duly noted that for the fucking record. I pull her over. I'm gonna have you pulled over. I got your mitochondrial DNA. Whiny. Pour me. Don't call me fucktard. Get your bitch ass out of my face. And that's that. Have a good fucking day.